Hi, and welcome back to another episode of The Breakdown with Bethany. I'm Bethany Braun Silva, and today my guest is the one and only Tia Mowry. Tia is an icon, and right now she is currently killing it as a single mom. In this episode, we're going to be talking about those early days of motherhood and dealing with a newborn. And yes, Tia and my kids, they're older, but we certainly have not forgotten those early days, and we're going to discuss it in this episode. So, of course, stay tuned. Tia, I have to say, as someone who's been watching you for years, I love to see you in this moment. You are thriving.
Oh my gosh, thank
We're
you.
really we're rooting for you. I know it hasn't been without some challenges, but how are you feeling right now?
I have been saying I have been on this natural high. You just caught me after an incredible self-love healing journey. I just got back from Europe for 2 weeks. I took this amazing, it was a writer's retreat. A woman by the name of Michaela, she ran it for 5 days with women from all over the world, from Greece, London, New York. And we were all just in this one house, just loving up all on each other. It was all about women empowerment. And then I traveled to Mallorca in Spain for a few days. And I went to London by myself. And I have never done this in my entire life. And when I say there were tears, because I did lose my luggage and I still don't have it. But that was the first lesson that I learned. I was like, be careful about what you ask for. I was like, I'm ready to learn and grow and evolve. And I really had to let go. All of my clothes for 2 weeks was gone. But I did not let that stop me from enjoying these experiences. So I just got back a few days ago, and I am a completely different person. I'm not the same. And it's just been amazing. So to answer your question, I'm on a high. I'm doing well.
I love it. It sometimes it takes, another country and a room full of women to get you in a better headspace, but I'm really loving it. And I know that we're here on behalf of Pampers. So, thank you so much. And my kids are 8 and 11. I know you've got, I think 5, 11 or 5 and 12.
5 and 12, yes.
5 and 12. So we're way out of that diaper stage, but I will say the one thing that can bring us back would be that
oh, it's something that has been etched, sketched, tattooed in my head that will live with me forever. And I feel like you don't really understand it until you go through it yourself. Of course, we all hear about it, but when it happens to you, you're like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? But yeah, I have many crazy blowout stories. I can always tell you one, which will lead into why I'm partnering up with Pampers Swaddlers. My son, he had to have been about 3 months. We were at a restaurant. It was really important for me to get out. Once you have a baby, it can sometimes feel like Groundhog Day, constantly doing the same thing every single day. And so I was like, let me get out. It was just me and him. We went to this restaurant down the street, and he had this massive blowout. And when I say it looked like a crime scene, it looked like a crime scene. It was everywhere, from all over him, all over me. His onesie was completely ruined. And the only way to get to the changing room was through the restaurant. That was so embarrassing. And I said, you know what? I'm choosing not to go through the restaurant right now, because everything that was in the diaper was no longer in the diaper. It was all over us. And I was like, it wouldn't be fair. So I went ahead, did what I had to do right there in my lap. So I am here to say I've had those stories. My friends who are parents now, they've had those stories. But Pampers, Swaddlers, new blowout barrier diaper. They are here to save the day. They are giving parents one less thing to worry about because these Pampers help prevent up to 100% of leaks and blowouts, giving many parents a peace of mind. So, that's my story for you, or all we have time for.
I have one that's kind of similar. I was shopping with my sister-in-law and she was snapping pictures, and my son had the biggest smile on his face. We're like, oh my God, he's so adorable. Little did we know, like under the stroller in the car seat was a big old mess. But anyway, that's fantastic. I know that you said you wish these were around when your kids were little. I certainly
did. I wish.
I know. I wish too. I think it's really sort of epic. But okay,
yeah.
So you are famously a twin. Like we all know, you're like one of the most, famous pairs out there. My best friend just welcomed twin boys in April.
Oh.
And I want to know, from your perspective as a twin, what do you want to tell parents of twins?
I think it's important because of course, when you have a twin, it's very exciting, right? Because some of them, look alike, whether they're fraternal or identical or fraternal. And it's fun to dress them, alike, and to have them do everything, the same. But I think it's important to, especially at a young age, to really nurture and encourage their individuality, meaning allow them to dress the way they want to dress. I remember my sister, we were in high school and it had to have been 9th or 10th grade. And we were still dressing alike. And my sister, she was so embarrassed. She would ask me to walk on the other side of the hallway, so that we wouldn't be, together, because here we are kind of like, twins at, dressing alike at school. And I think that was a sign there that she was ready to really start to be an individual and express herself the way that she wanted to. So as a parent, I would encourage that at a young age, meaning, give them 2 cakes, not necessarily 1. Treat them as one. I mean, not treat them as one, treat them as individuals, instead of kind of meshing them together. It'll only help in the long run.
That's really fantastic. I'm so glad that you said that. And I mentioned at the top of our interview that we see you thriving, but I know that it's not without its challenges. And if it's okay with you, I would love for you to just expand a little bit about life as a single mom, or advice that you have for a mother who might be going through it. We have a lot of parents. And I know we look for you. We look to you for some inspiration.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I think now as a single mom, I think the biggest challenge is when something is going on in the house, whether the 2 kids are out in the backyard and they're in the pool and they're pulling each other's hair and they're screaming. It's only you know what I mean? It's mom, 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 trying to diffuse situations. And that's just one example. There's homework assignments, there's, constant questions throughout the day. And it's being targeted to you and only you. And that can get extremely overwhelming and exhausting at times, because there's not necessarily someone else there to bounce off of. So what I've learned in this process is to really rev up the self-care, and just kind of even creating boundaries for yourself when it comes to your kids. For example,
boundaries with your kids. People are like, what?
Yes. What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, listen, I have to get through this day to be there for you. So I've learned that, setting these boundaries is not selfish. So what I've done recently is I've gotten a do not disturb sign on Amazon. And I've told my kids, even my cute little 5-year-old, when that sign is on my door, mommy is meditating mommy is journaling, mommy is reading. And I have a ritual. I've created a ritual in the morning that is a non-negotiable for me. And since I've been doing that, I feel like it's really, really helped me throughout the day, with, the moments that I've explained before. It just really helps center me and get my day going, the way that I want to.
I love it. That's so beautiful. And I know
Thank you.
we have one more question. I'm going to make it
Sure.
quick. And I know you're all
Sure.
about living your truth, whether you're how you're showing up on social media, from how you dress,
Yeah.
how you talk. So again,
Yeah.
for a mother or a woman who's struggling to find her truth, how do
Mhm.
you suggest like they get started on that path?
I can only speak from personal experience. And when I got on this journey and on this path was when I really started to look within and really see how I am worthy. I deserve knowing and having a relationship with yourself. And when I mean self love, I'm not talking about forgetting about everyone else. I'm talking about not forgetting about you, meaning tap into who you are. What are your wants? What are your desires? What are your needs? And the only way you really know that is when you have a relationship with yourself. It's so easy to be influenced by other people, other people's opinions, what other people want for you and your life. But at the end of the day, it's about you. You live with you. You go to bed with you. When you're looking at the mirror, you're looking at you. So I would encourage women to first start with looking deep within and having a relationship with themselves and really tapping into self love, loving who you are. And then that will evolve and grow. And then you'll start to see and find yourself being unapologetic about who you are and creating boundaries for yourself. Because you know what? You're like, I feel good with me, you know? And I'm not going to let anything on the outside mess that up because I'm learning how to feel complete with myself. And you'll just kind of take off that way, in my opinion.
I mean, that was like a whole thing. So I guess, I mean, I feel just listening to you, I think I'm ready. Thank you
No,
so much for the time. This was so great getting to talk to you.
no
And like I
problem.
said, I've been
Thank
a
you.
huge fan for years. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All
I
right.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.